Hey, it's Ashley and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. Today we're going to be doing a number 1 fade on the sides, high and tight, with a scissor cut on top. And we're going to be trimming about 1 inch to 2 inches off the top, keeping the bangs a little bit longer and everything else pretty clean cut. As you can see, I'm going in with my number 1 and I am meeting everything to my comb, creating a nice start to the blend of my fade. So I am just going in and I am debulking all of my client's hair before going in and really fading, making sure that I get everything cut down to this number 1 guard on the sides. So I am going to just be running my number 1 guard all around, really focusing on debulking before my fade. And if you haven't already, please check out my Patreon. I do post my videos here about a week or 2 earlier than my YouTube channel. And this is something I just started. If you want a little more personal reach with me, this is a great place to do it. Thanks so much. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Back to the video. So like I said, we are debulking this haircut with my number 1 guard. And when we get to that parietal ridge area, we're going to make sure that we're giving it a little bit more of a scoop so that we can start our fade. But I'm really focusing on debulking at first and just going in and taking off all that thick hair that he's came in with. So my client has come to me. I think we might have even done a video on him a few years ago, but this is a great, refresher on this number 1 high fade with some curls on top. So I'm just, going in, making sure everything's leveled out to that number 1 guard, making sure there's no little squares in this haircut so that everything is a number 1 guard. Sometimes I find people can't blend their haircuts out, and it's because they're not cutting down to that true layer of a guard that they're using. They're just kind of like sliding on top of that. So make sure when you're cutting with your number 1 guard that you are not really flicking out until you are going to where you want to fade in. So we're going to start in the back of the head with my clipper closed, and I'm just going to taper out his neckline before I go any further with my number 1 fade. While we're here, I just kind of pop my 1 guard off, kind of hold it in my hand, and I'm just going to taper out the back of the neck. So I am slowly opening my clippers inch by inch, or technically centimeter by centimeter, and just making sure that I am fading out that hairline. After that, I've opened my clippers and I am going in with a 1.5, and I'm just going to work my way all around the parietal ridge, really making sure I'm going in and scooping out my clippers so that I can get a nice fade. When you are setting yourself up, you want to make sure that you are scooping out so you can go into your next guard a lot easier and then blend everything together a lot smoother. So after I go in with my 1.5, I'm going to switch over to my half guard so that I can touch up the back of the neck that I've tapered previously into that number 1. So remember, I went with my no guard and then I just tapered him up to a half on the clippers, and so I'm going back with that half guard and just tapering out the sideburns. As you can see, close guard, open half, and then open all the way. So I'm getting that little C scoop around the sideburn, making sure we're just tapering into that 1. Now going in with a 1.5 guard, I'm going to go back to my fade, and I'm just going in, making sure that I am scooping everything with the clippers into that number 1.5 that we previously had. And I'm just going in kind of at a 45-degree angle. This is going to just help kind of taper out the sides and make sure that everything's getting cut down to the shape of the head. This is really making sure that the shape of the head is going to be flattering for the client. So when you go in at a 45-degree angle and you're rounding out your corners on a high fade, this is the difference between a flat top and a fade on a high and tight. A flat top is going to be very square, whereas you can see I'm getting my corners taken off and I'm really debulking everything instead of leaving those corners really heavy and square. So again, we're just going in. I opened that 1.5 guard up, so now we're at a 1.5 guard opened, and then this is going to be a really easy way to just go in with my scissors after we finish the dry work. So I like to do everything step by step. We're going to do clippers, trimmers, scissors. So now I'm going in and I am just cleaning up around the client's ear, cleaning up around the hairline, making sure that everything is nice and tight. As you can see, I'm just going to do some detail work on his sideburns, making sure that we're doing a nice C shape, but we are following the client's natural hairline. I don't like to cut into my client's hairline and leave them that white cast of where their skin's just not tan from the sun because their hairline's in the way. So we like to leave everything really natural unless the client asks for anything more specific. So I'm just going in and making sure that I'm edging up his natural hairline. Again, we're not taking too much off. We did already taper the back of the neck, so I can just go in and clean everything up real nice and tight. Making sure you get any peach fuzz underneath the cape is essential. A client doesn't really want to have to go home and trim the back of their neck when they just left the barbershop. So make sure that you're getting everything you can see and even some stuff you might not be able to. After we do our dry work, we're going to go in, we're going to wet the client's hair, and then I'm going to just get a good feel for it, making sure that it's fully saturated as it is a curly haircut. Now we're going to blend the sides in with our shears. This is going to be super important part. It's going to set the rest of our haircut up, and it's going to take about 5 minutes total to do this part. So follow along with me and I will show you how to blend in your haircuts with your shear over comb. As you can see from before, we blended him in to a 1.5 opened, and I'm just going in and I am using my comb as a 45-degree angle, and then I'm going in and picking that hair back up and cutting it some more so that I can round out his corners. And like I said before, we're going to take about 1 inch to 2 inches off the top, so we're not going to be scared to cut a lot of this weight out. And as you can see, I am picking up and cutting where that hair kind of starts to fall out of my fingers. So that's going to be where we meet our 1.5 guard. So after I do that, I'm going to go back in and double check what I just cut. So this is my cross checking where I go parallel instead of at that degree. So when I'm going parallel, I'm just making sure that I'm trimming everything and it's all even when I pull it up. Same thing for this cowlick. Now this is going to be a really detailed way on how to blend in your cowlicks. So I'm going to start by going parallel to the head, the crown of the head, and I'm going to work myself directly up, not going into the head shape. And then I'm going to come back in and 45 degree the rest of this along with the pattern of the cowlick. So I am pulling the cowlick out in every single direction that it grows and making sure that I am blending it all together. So as you can see, I'm just pulling my comb to that 45-degree angle and blending everything from that 1.5 guard like I did on the side. And now I'm going to pull everything up to my fingers and start to cut where I cannot reach anymore. So you can see it's falling on my fingers, and now I'm cutting up at a 45-degree angle, making sure that I am leaving some length towards the top of the head. And we're going to just do that all the way around, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side, which I will show you in just a second. So if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. I am almost at 15,000 subscribers, and I couldn't be more grateful for all of my fans. I appreciate you guys so much, and I can't wait to make some more videos for you. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. Now I am going back in and I'm just working this cowlick all the way up to the top of my client's head to that point. So we are going to just cut everything, still going at that 45-degree angle, taking some length off. And as you can see, that really helps just the cowlick lay down perfectly flat. And I'm going to go in and just make sure that we're meeting everything on our sides together. Now going in and blending the other side of this haircut, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going with my comb at a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to just blend from that 1.5 guard open that we already cut the sides with. So as you can see, I'm just keeping that 45-degree angle, and I'm meeting it all the way to the back of that cowlick, which we just blended together. So we can go ahead and start picking up from here with our fingers this haircut and making sure that everything is matched to that 45-degree angle on the sides. As you can see here, we are getting pretty blended together, and all we have left to do is to cut the top of my client's hair. So for the top of the hair, we are going to start with our mohawk section, And this is going to determine the length of his haircut on top. Sometimes I would start with my bangs, but this client wears his hair kind of pushed to the front. So the bang length isn't really my concern. My concern is the length of what we're going to look like when we're spiking it up. I say spike it up, but he's curly, so it's really more like a pushed up haircut. So you're going to see that I am just going in and starting to cut at a good length. I'm taking about an inch off, and this is going to look a little bit different. So remember, we took that 45-degree angle to the cowlick. So now I'm going in and kind of doing the opposite. I want my bangs a little bit longer, and I want the back to be shorter. So I want to go and meet everything that we cut to the cowlick from the top of the head. So we're going to kind of go at like a slope on the top to the back. And you want the top to be higher because the front part of the head is a higher point than the back of the head. But remember, the middle dips. So when that middle dips, we really want to compensate and make sure that we are having our haircuts kind of be a little bit longer in the front and going to that 45-degree angle towards the back. So as you can see, I'm pulling up and meeting everything to my mohawk section. I just did the other side, and now I'm coming in and matching my other side together. So I'm pulling it up and I'm going in at that mohawk section and then cutting everything down to match that length. After I've done both of my sections to meet my mohawk section, I want to make sure that everything is blended on both sides and the back. So I definitely want to go in and start to pull everything, get my corners rounded out. So as you can see, I'm going to just go in, pull it up, and round out my corners. This is just matching everything I've already cut on the sides to everything I've just cut on the top. So we're going to do this throughout the entire haircut. And we're just going to kind of nip a little bit here and a little bit there. It shouldn't be so dramatic because you should already have everything pretty blended up. As you can see, I'm going in and I'm checking, and we can see that some of this is a little bit longer in some areas. So we're going to go in and just like give it a little bit of a snip as everything kind of comes to life on this haircut. He did have a lot of hair weighing him down, so it's not going to look exactly perfect until after we wash this haircut. So we are almost finished up with this haircut. Like I said, we're just going in and really blending in everything together and making sure that we go ahead and cross-check this haircut. So pulling everything up at a different direction than what we just cut everything. And this will make sure that everything lays really nice and smoothly. And we're going to just make sure that our client's loving this haircut. You can see I'm cross-checking these bangs. If you've enjoyed this video, like I said, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really makes a difference for me. And stay here for the before and after. It's a pretty crazy difference. My client probably hasn't had a haircut in about a month and a half to 2 months. I do recommend this haircut every 4 weeks. If you're getting a number 1 on the sides, high and tight, it makes a difference to come in regularly to see your barber. I appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I hope to see you soon. Thanks. If you haven't already, don't forget to check out my Patreon where I do post my videos there first. You kind of get some exclusives with me and a little bit more interaction. I appreciate you guys so much.